Welcome to another exciting edition of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
What do we got behind you? That looks like a price tag. What are we talking about today?
Price tags? Sales?
Sales. Nah, we're not.
Oh.
We're going to do that in another video. I'm throwing an Audible over here, which you always love. This is why the channel is fun for one of us.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of heard something about you through the grapevine.
Oh, probably. It's never good.
Well, I heard you've kind of expanded how you're doing things. You've changed up what you're doing lately.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You got to do that. You got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, you do, like you are right now. You don't know what's coming down the pike on you.
Exactly.
So I heard a bit of a rumor about you that you have taken up drop shipping.
Oh, yeah, lovely. Yeah. It's a great rumor. Yes. It almost cost me my company. Yeah.
So are you going to be selling courses on how you can make tons of money drop shipping and everything in the future? Or
No,
what are you doing?
No, because I don't know how to drop ship, and I don't drop ship. That's the problem I have. And I don't want to drop ship.
Oh. So for anybody who doesn't know, we do not drop ship. We actually have all of the products in hand. However, we had a frantic moment for Mr. Magazine earlier this week. Luckily, it was a day that I had taken off of work, so I was able to dedicate some time to help him out as well. And it was on Amazon. And why don't you take it away and tell the overall, just the general story of the backstory of what happened.
So I got an email, supposedly from Amazon, saying that your account is getting checked out, looked at, it's under review, and possible suspension. So generally, I do get these from time to time, and I send them over to Paperboy. He's like, "Yeah, it's a fake one. Leave it alone. It's a scam. Don't touch it. Delete it." Well, I had to go on Amazon to print orders anyway. So what do I see when I log into Amazon? This big
exclamation point telling you how good you're doing.
Yeah. Well, it did say my rating was good, but then this big yellow box in the corner said policy violation. My account's under review. Click here. Blah 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 blah.
And
they had some serious word on it too. Like we did some recent catastrophic error or something, and we did something.
Well,
crazy.
And here's the crazy thing about it. You've got some problems with your Amazon account, but they're not your problems per se. Amazon has recently done a lot of crackdowns on various things, and for example, I've got a problem that I had 2 children's books removed because they were against the pesticide policy. The only way I can think of that a children's book can be used with bugs is if you take it and you smash a bug. Beyond that, it's not a pesticide. So the bots are going crazy over at Amazon. And we've done a video before about how I price gouge because I'm asking $4.21 on a book. Mr. Magazine has a Lawrence Welk album that we've changed the price on multiple times, and he is still overpriced at $1. So when you log into your Amazon account and you see these violations, they're not always true violations. Now, they may be viewed as such by Amazon, but they're not true violations. You had some intellectual property problems as well.
Oh, a bunch of those. Is it 1,000? I think it was up to 1,000.
You made the mistake of listing Beach Boys albums that were released commercially. You could walk into any record store in the country and find them there. And you listed onto them for whatever reason. Beach Boys are asserting their rights and they don't want those sold, I guess. I'm not exactly certain why. But you've got all of these exclamation points. Yeah. So you get this you get an email from Amazon, and when we log in, we are certain it's legitimate because you see this big yellow exclamation points. There's no doubt at all it's legitimate. The problem that we have is we see all of these problems, like intellectual property. Well, again, it's a Beach Boys album that's commercially available. We didn't bootleg a Beach Boys album.
The other one's a restricted property removal or something like that. So,
and some of those are Hot Wheels cars that are getting removed.
Star Wars figures with a blaster gun. They think it's a real gun. It's crazy.
So what this tells us to do is to identify the problems and to explain to Amazon what happened and why it's not going to happen in the future, and give an action plan into the future about what we're going to do to make sure we don't run into this problem again. That's what it says.
Right.
Which, okay, we go and we do that, and we submit it.
Well,
Here's-
and in the meantime, I contacted someone at Amazon, which is hard to do if you're a seller because they don't want to deal with sellers' issues. Only
Well,
buyers.
they do have a spot with this problem that you can click on to have them call you. And you have two options. They'll contact you in English or they'll contact you in Manchurian. I believe you chose the English.
Yes, yes.
You probably could have chosen the Manchurian and
Right.
gotten just as much help. But wasn't that automated?
No,
the first one.
The first call was from a female lady on the phone, and she had said that those were the issues. I wanted to confirm that before I move forward with my business plan, that those in fact are the issues, the intellectual property rights and so forth.
Okay, so
And she did say that those were the issues. I go, you're sure now? Because I want to put my business plan into effect
Yep.
based on what you're telling me is wrong. Because I had some weird feeling that it didn't make any sense, and this lady wasn't part of the what is that area with the
seller
issues?
protection?
Yeah,
or the,
seller health department. She wasn't part of that. She was just a phone person. So I didn't think she really knew what she was talking about.
So she's basically doing what we're doing, where you look at the dashboard, you see exclamation points, and you say, "Oh, it's
Right.
this, it's that."
Exactly.
So we drafted the best as we could. How and here's where we had a problem drafting it. Out of nowhere, they end a Hot Wheels, with no warning
Right.
whatsoever. Out of nowhere, they end a Beach Boys. How do we know
Right.
tomorrow that the Rolling Stones aren't suddenly going to assert their rights and say, we do not want these albums sold secondhand?
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, tomorrow we have 120 violations. Nothing you can do about it because we can't
Right.
foresee the future. We cannot predict what Amazon is going to pick off.
Right.
For example, with the children's books that they nabbed me on for the pesticide, that's so ridiculous that it's impossible
Right.
to make a plan against, because what am I going to do? It's not practical, it's not logical.
Right.
But we drafted something that was pretty nebulous, but we've identified this, we are going to attempt to do this, we're not going to do this. And one of the biggest things that we put in our plan was, as soon as we found out, we contacted Amazon.
Right.
Which, we're contacting them to find out for certain what the problems are and what we can do about them. Because, again, we don't want the business shut down.
Right.
However, you then got contacted by a second person at Amazon.
Yes. So they told me the issue is that I drop shipped an item in a Walmart box from Walmart. So I didn't even have to think about this because I knew the exact incident this happened like a couple months ago. A gentleman bought a McFarlane sports figure, Pedro Martinez, and I believe we had the Mets version for sale. The picture showed a Mets version. He got a Mets, but he claimed he bought the Red Sox from me at Walmart. And I said, I don't even know how that's possible because
We do not sell on Walmart.
Yeah, and I don't ship anything in Walmart boxes either. We don't even use old boxes that have other companies' names on them. So I knew the situation. I spoke with the guy. He actually called me. He found my phone number, called me, and he was upset. And I just said, I'll look for we did not have one that he wanted. We looked everywhere for a replacement that he wanted.
Right, which why would you have it? Because
Right.
you listed the
Exactly,
Mets and
yeah.
you sold the Mets, you shipped them the Mets.
Right.
So, I mean, if you had one, it would be fortuitous as opposed to...
Yeah. And he showed me some link from Walmart, and then I showed him a link from Amazon. I said, "This is what you bought. This is what I shipped out to you." I said, "We can refund you. Just ship it back." And that was it. A couple months go by, I haven't heard from him. He didn't ship it back, and now Amazon's calling to tell me that I'm a drop shipper using Walmart recycled boxes. And I wasn't very happy, but I wanted to be nice because I didn't want to. I was already in hot water with them, so I had to smooth things over. And I basically came out and said, he is a liar, or he's mistaken. Maybe he bought two McFarlane Pedro Martinez, one from Walmart, one from me. I don't know, or someone bought one for him. I have no idea. But I said, we do not drop ship, never have, never will. That is our business plan. And then the gentleman said, well, what will you do moving forward? I said,
I'll continue not to drop ship.
I said, I can tell my employees not to drop ship, but they already know that. I can tell them not to use Walmart boxes, but they already know that. I go, I don't know what else I could prove to you that we're not going to do this anymore because it simply never happened and this person's mistaken or lying. It's that simple, and then they ended up reviewing it and they cleared my account. But it's just scary that, and I told them, I go, we've been on Amazon 12 years, sold I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of items, and never had drop ship issue. No one's ever complained, but this one incident would cause them to kick me off Amazon for a $10 item, which it was amazing to me that it's that important to them. It's that big of a deal that they would just cancel and shut down my account. It's just amazing.
Well, and the story gets even better because didn't you speak with two different people at Amazon?
Yeah, when I was on the phone with him, a female contacted my manager on the other line. He called my cell phone and she called the shop phone with the same situation. And I explained to her. Now, the first gentleman said he was going to review it. I had to go in there and submit another
Plan of action.
You can just add to the previous one that Paperboy typed in. And with this lady, though, she had the authority after I said the same thing to her. She had the authority to clear the account, what the first guy did not do or did not want to do. But very frustrating, very stressful that it would come down to one person making a simple mistake or a lie to get me and my employees kicked off and, out on the streets. So.
Well, the other funny thing about it is the gentleman who contacted you from Amazon was adamant that you needed to update and submit an action plan. Well, the lady said no, but he was adamant that you did.
Yeah.
So you contacted me, and I said, basically, let's let it simmer for half an hour. You've been in contact with them. They're not going to close your account down within half an hour. Logged back in, and the big exclamation point was gone.
Yeah.
So at that point, we said, we're not going to, and then you asked me what we thought we should do, and I said, let's not poke anything with a stick.
Right.
The exclamation point's not there any longer.
Right.
If it comes back, we know we need to update. Otherwise, it looks as though the lady was able to take care of it.
Yeah.
Why mess with anything if the problem seems to be solved?
Sure, yeah.
And we haven't had a problem since then. It's kind of frightening because I do use recycled boxes at times. One thing that I do is if it's a questionable box, and by that I mean, let's say it's a box we did the warehouse tour, and the most important thing in the warehouse tour was the Keurig.
Yeah.
I do enjoy my coffee. I do buy Keurig K-Cups for my own home. They come in perfect size boxes for shipping out a couple of books, that kind of deal. So I do recycle those boxes. What I do is if it's a larger size box with a lighter size book in it, my fear is that the post office is going to think I'm shipping coffee out in it when it's kind of a lighter item.
Right.
So what I do is I write on the side of the box in ink, repurposed box, so that way, yes, I am shipping it media mail. I'll write book, repurposed box.
Right.
They, of course, have the right to open it up.
Yeah.
But when they open it up, guess what they're going to find inside?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
going to find a book.
Right.
So I'm trying to make it easy for them as opposed to a red flag.
Well, and again, one would only get in trouble if they did exactly what that customer did. So who's going to call? Most people would not call up if I send a Walmart or Target or eBay box to Amazon. No one's going to complain, especially if they get their item. But this guy had it out for me. He thought I deceived him, and he was so adamant that it came from Walmart drop shipped. And I proved him that it didn't either. And again, Amazon could have just checked my account with that listing and seen that I shipped it with the Amazon label.
That's
from
true,
my
too.
address.
You did purchase it from your label.
It would have just took them a minute to say, like, oh, this guy is incorrect. Okay, you're good to go, instead of, like, threatening it. So, and then they probably would never have looked at it. And if they thought that I should have been kicked off, they would have kicked me off without even reviewing that, which is even more scary,
So I guess the lesson to be learned is, you sure you're not drop shipping? Because I was gonna give you some money for a course.
I'm going to drop kick you.
So I guess the lesson is be very proactive. You actually were able to get through to Amazon, or they were able to get through to you one way or the other. There is a spot in Amazon, update your contact information, make sure that that's all updated. And in fact, they did go through recently. I did get a big notification, please verify your phone number, please verify your contact number, and all that kind of deal. They do want to make sure it's on there. And another interesting thing is, I don't know if you take those Amazon surveys that they have when you're in Seller Central or not, but a lot of those surveys appear to be very customer service oriented. In other words, I feel that Amazon rules are easy to understand, strongly agree.
Right. I always answer those.
and they almost all seem to be heavy into the customer service aspect. I believe that they are aware that they have issues.
Yeah.
Their customer service is abysmal. I think I can say that. So perhaps they're going to actually spend some of the billions of dollars they have and hire a competent customer service crew. One thing that I always laugh about is you have problems, and one of the things they suggest is that you go onto the Amazon boards to get help from fellow sellers.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to go on and get help from you that's selling, I don't know what you're selling, say $250,000 a year on Amazon, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I'm supposed to go on and get help from a guy who's selling $250,000, and you share your experiences with me, which is just as much guesswork as anything else,
Right.
as opposed to get the answer from the horse's mouth, a multi-billion-dollar company.
Right, exactly.
So I'm supposed to rely on your advice as opposed to Amazon's advice because they don't want to spend a couple of shekels on hiring a competent customer service crew with dedicated phone support for sellers, et cetera, et cetera. Hell of a way to run a railroad, as they say. So hopefully that you found that entertaining. We didn't find it quite so entertaining.
No, definitely not, no.
In fact, real quick, what did I say when you called me about the problem? You were not in the best of moods.
No, definitely not.
And I said, "Wow, you're really dedicated to the channel. If you did this for content, my hats off to you."
Yeah, perfect, yeah.
For some reason, you don't always appreciate my sense of humor. It's weird. If you did like the video, if you could hit the thumbs up, really would appreciate it. Subscribe, tell a friend, as Hush Professor always says. Hit the icon down there so you get notifications when we got new videos coming out. And we will see you next video.
Take care, bye-bye.
Wanna be